This Thanksgiving, if the family starts arguing about who ruined the stuffing, just quietly grab the remote, turn on Hutch's weather, and say, "Shh, I need to hear this part." I'll give you 90 seconds of peace. Maybe more if there's a storm. From all of us at Hutch's Weather, happy Thanksgiving and good luck around that table. Anywhere, anytime, at hutchesweather.com.
And good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I'm joining you live, and we do have some weather to talk about as we take a look at the latest radar. We're going to look at road conditions. We'll look at that forecast and have details on what you need to know to get out the door in the morning. Let me know if you're watching, where you're watching from. But for now, this is what we have going on across the area.
Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, thanks to my fine sponsors and to all of you for watching and trusting me with your weather. We've had some sprinkles of rain here in the Red River Valley from Grand Forks south through Fargo, just starting to mix over and turn over to some snowflakes in South Moorhead. I posted a little video on that. Out to the west, the heaviest band of snow extends from the I-94 corridor, mainly Bismarck area, and just south in towards Aberdeen. Well, we see this heavy rain, and then just north of that heavy rain boundary is where that heavy snow band is. Now, we're talking about multiple inches per hour here, maybe 1 to 3 inches per hour easily in this area of heavier snow that's working its way eastward across the area. Things are starting to wrap up a little bit in the oil patch, but the road conditions are the worst there. We're getting a lot of wind reports from this storm system in the western reaches of South Dakota. All these blue icons you see here are some wind gust reports. How about 61 mile per hour gusts out there? This was in the Sorum area. As we go down south of Eagle Butte, 50 mile per hour gusts. You get closer to Rapid City, numerous gust reports there as well that have exceeded 60 miles per hour. So zooming into the Bismarck area, zooming into Hazelton and Moffett and Napoleon, all the way out towards Wishick and Loyola in South Dakota and Eureka, a band of some heavier snow taking place right out in those reaches. So that's where that heavier band of snow is. It will be ending from west to east as we go through. So what's on the ground out to the west is what we have going on. Now let's take a look at those road conditions across the region, brought to you by my friends at OK Tire. A couple of things to keep in mind. We're going to start in North Dakota. We do have a road closure out there. Thanks, Lenny. Good to have you on board this morning. And a new travel alert. So this is all of the travel alerts in North Dakota. Number one, the red area you see here, no travel is advised in northwest parts of North Dakota. If your travels take you there, that no travel advisory continues. It was issued after 10 o'clock last night, closer to the 11 o'clock hour. We also have the purple area, which is a travel advisory. So some areas of difficult travel can be expected in the purple shaded counties that you see here in the Minot zone to the, well, Botno zone up here to the north. Now, as we take a look at what it looks like in Minot as you're rising and shining, we do have some snow that has accumulated on the ground, but the new snowfall appears to have tapered off. Roads, hey, they have a crusty layer of snow. You can see right here that we do have some concrete, we'll call it, some heavy, icy looking snow stapled onto the roads. South of there, as you get into that Cole Harbor, Washburn area, a lot of snow. Look at that. That's pretty deep snow out there. And we do have both lanes showing some coverage out there on the Highway 83 corridor south of Bismarck. Snow still flying there. And as we go into Bismarck itself, let's show you what the capital city has to contend with at this time. I-94 midway through the city, and you can see slow and go traffic. We definitely have some measurable snow out there that has a crust on the interstate out there on I-94 through the capital city. Hey, for you in the oil patch, here's the Williston zone just west of town. The snowfall has stopped. Look at the snow on the side of the road and the road itself. It's definitely a change in scenery of what we've seen. Now let's do the I-94 corridor. You saw Bismarck. Let's get out into the Kidder County area just off to the west of Steele. Here we go. Flakes flying. And remember, it was showing that we did have some heavier snow from Bismarck Bismarck and points south. So this is Interstate 94 near Sterling, North Dakota. And as you take a look, some visibility compromise there. South of Bismarck is where that heavier band was. We're going to go down here in that Ellendale zone just off to the west. Here's a look at Ashley. And look at that. That road completely covered with a fair amount of snow. You can see the tire tracks, but you can't see the pavement out there at that particular road location. And again, that is looking in south central North Dakota. Jamestown on Interstate 94. Here's what it looks like for you in Stutzman County. Wow, we do have both lanes covered with snow. There is a track. The plows are doing their best to keep up with things there, so it's certainly passable. And again, the worst of the wind hasn't hit yet. This is the snow. The wind is back on that west side where we're seeing in South Dakota gusts over 60 miles per hour interstate traffic. This is eastbound Jamestown area, what's going on right now. Now, we do have some snowfall reports in the Devil's Lake Basin, and we do have some snow taking place. Let's go into Devil's Lake. Notice the lower amounts in northeast North Dakota right now. We're going to see more snow fall in this area, but the heaviest of the snow will be to your south. Here's New Rockford as you go into that Highway 281 corridor, and you can see the horizontal flakes flying out there. And we do got to tell you what, I would love to have you download pictures. That's likely what we just heard the bell on here as I'm checking my content here to make sure that I don't have updates from you. If you have updates, you can head to hutchesweather.com, update your latest content right there as to what you're seeing on your area roads this morning. So this is a look there at that zone in New Rockford. Now let's go ahead and take a look elsewhere as we sneak across North Dakota. Here is how we are looking on the interstate as we go out towards the Valley City. No cameras there anymore at the Ariska rest stop, but we can get you out towards Castleton, and you can certainly see that the snow is getting started. Both interstate lanes here are wide open. This is not snow on the side of the road here. There's a little bit on the grassy areas, but it's not completely covered yet. Todd, thanks for watching. Good morning to you. I hope you had a great evening of sleep, and the snow is heavier down to the south. We'll go through your latest. Here's a look at that area of I-94 and I-29 crossing, and we do see that the roads here in the Fargo area are just wet for most of us on our morning commute. Now, I am going to take a gander at what's going on in South Dakota for our South Dakota friends out there along the border. We do have some more tricky travel conditions out there. Look at this from Mobridge and off to the east towards Eureka. All these pink lines here, completely covered roads. So as we get into that zone near Eureka, 31 degrees there, that camera offline for the current time being, but let's take a look just a little bit farther to the west. So this image is the Harriet area. And again, horizontal flying flakes out there, some wind, and we definitely have some snow coverage on the area roads there as reported by the DOT out there in parts of northeast north central South Dakota. This is heading towards Aberdeen. I want you to pay attention to these temperatures. 31 just outside of Aberdeen. You go down to the south a little bit, 33, 37 in DeSmet. So we're still warm enough for rain showers out here in the I-29 corridor near Sisseton, but it won't be long till we start seeing some of that change. Here is a look just west of Sisseton now. You can see completely decent looking roads out there as you take a peek just over my shoulder there. But the snow is beginning to take place out there in that particular zone near Sisseton on the Roberts County line there with Brown County and with, let's see, Marshall County, South Dakota. So that's what's going on in South Dakota. One more look at that radar, and we're going to talk a little bit about the forecast and snowfall reports that we have so far. Usually, snow reporters for the National Weather Service start sending in their reports here at 7 o'clock, so we'll keep you up to date with that. Back to the radar we go, and we will let you know that we do have some flying flakes of snow in the FM area starting to accumulate just a little bit on your car's windshield, so give yourself some time to use the snow brush this morning. But bigger, heavier, wetter snow taking place, and again, the heaviest band, we can call it right here as we circle from the Britain, South Dakota area through areas south of Edgeley, just near Bismarck, near Kidder County and Steele, and then it works its way down towards Aberdeen. This red that you see there, that's very heavy rain, and it's cold enough for snow on just the west side of that boundary there, and that's where we have the difficult travel taking place. So this is what we have going on right now across the region. Now let's take a quick peek at the latest in the forecast just to get you updated, and we'll take a peek at hutchesweather.com to show you a couple tools there to keep your eyes on snowfall reports today and road conditions today. Here we go. Let's start with a look at what's going on with that hour-by-hour forecast. This is a called the High Resolution Rapid Refresh Model, or HRRR for short. This one is one that's been doing a reasonable job here with where things have taken part since last night. So I think we'll just stick with this for now. Now, this is the latest run. It's not going to go all the way through the forecast period, but what we're going to do is see where it has this heavier band right here floating along the North Dakota, South Dakota border as we go through the morning hours. This is 7 a.m. So the heaviest snow right along this South Dakota border and areas up towards Interstate 94. So we'll have accumulation continuing. Things really start to pick up here with the darker blues starting to show up in Fargo as we go through about 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. And then it continues to snow with the wind picking up and becoming more northerly. Randy, thanks so much. Looks like heavier snow is staying by the border. That's where the heaviest band is right now. And it's going to be basically along and south of Interstate 94. Look at the prolonged period of snowfall. Snow is just starting now, but we've seen cameras in and around Bismarck and Jamestown, and that snow is sticking and becoming a slushy layer. Good morning, Debbie. Good to have you on board waiting for Bemidji forecast. Check it out. Snow showers here in Beltrami County and parts of Minnesota will be very robust. And in fact, there's been an expansion of the warning all the way into the Twin Cities and Point South, and all the way, as I said last night on my update, that I had a hunch that it would extend into west central Minnesota, and that's exactly what has happened. So winter storm warning expansion. We do have the snow shower activity that we're expecting to continue its way off to the east. This is a look as we go towards noon. Here's noon. Look at this axis right here. You see the heavier snow. We're looking at areas along Interstate 94. There's Jamestown. There's you, Valley City. Here's Buffalo Air, as well as you folks out there in Castleton, Fargo, Moorhead. And this is moving out towards Hawley and the areas in Becker County here, where we do have some heavier snow potential, basically along that Highway 10 corridor. You sniffed this out over a week ago. Well, thank you, Scott. It's still no human mind can really see anything, but what we do is take a look at these models and try to do the best job we can as meteorologists to pick the ones we think are coming along. Hey, everybody, thanks for joining me. I see people are kind of getting up. Grand Forks just a dusting so far. You're on the northern fringe of this. We did show you cameras in and around Devil's Lake area. There is some snow on the ground, but not very much. It's going to be lighter along the Highway 2 corridor here in Devil's Lake to Grand Forks. There'll be periods, though, where it gets a little heavy. The low pressure center is right here, and it is really, really strong with the winds and the gusts that we saw in South Dakota that were at 60 miles per hour. Won't be quite that strong here at noon, but as we approach your noon hour, that's when things really start to stick. Fargo down towards the Richland County area. So if you're in Wahpeton, Breckenridge, Hazelton, yeah, you can expect these areas to pick up snow. This includes Lisbon and Gwinner, as well as you folks in Oaks and Ellendale on that Highway 11 and 17 corridor, and right in towards, look at this, Otter Tail County, particularly the southern half. Now, the warning for winter storm warning in this area is for the eastern portions of the county. It's really the southern whole half of the county, including very close to you folks in Fergus Falls, moving out towards Battle Lake. That's where that heavier band is heading, and it does look to be spot on. Still rain in Minneapolis as we go through the lunch hour and 1 p.m. So that is still rain out there. Things will get tricky. So if you're traveling toward Fargo or from Fargo, anything in the afternoon will get dicier and dicier. Here's the low pressure center now, kind of congealing and focusing on parts of southeast Minnesota with heavier rain, warm enough for rain there. North winds really taking hold as we go towards your drive time home. So the snow will begin its decrease as we go towards 4 to 6 p.m. in Fargo, and it will be moving off mainly into central parts of Minnesota. So here's your Bemidji area right here. Here's Waskish. Here's the Red Lakes area. You sneak down south towards the Bemidji to Park Rapids zone. Notice that increasing rapidly towards Park Rapids, Hubbard County, southern Hubbard County, Wadena County. So if you're up there in Sebeka in the northern part of the county, you'll get some snow, but it'll be heavier down towards Wadena and Todd County there for you folks in Staples. And look at this, the Brainerd Lakes area right here. Shazam, you're in the heavy snow zone there with some heavier snow. Now look what happens as this storm wraps its way into Minnesota this afternoon and into the evening hours. Here's 6 p.m. and now the Twin Cities is rocking and rolling, points north towards Duluth. Duluth, look at the South Shore in northern Wisconsin, picking up heavy amounts of snow, decreasing snow in the 6 to 10 o'clock hour here, ending, decreasing wind, and now the cold takes hold. So let's take a look at this forecast model, or the most recent run here, and we'll take a look at what it's putting down for additional snowfall on top of what we have right now. This will be pretty close to the Fargo area's look at snowfall. Let's go ahead and make sure we're on the right properties here. Well, and we'll switch this over to a look at snowfall. The first amounts of snow that begin falling here are going to be kind of slushy, but once that heavier band sets up Fargo, Valley City, Jamestown, and Point South, it will start turning into that sludge on the roads. So this model paints a narrow band of heavy snow right along the South Dakota border. So this does include places like Ashley, Wishick, Napoleon. We're looking at places like Cullum and in towards Oaks, Ellendale, Lemoore, and then Gwinner. And look at this South Dakota, Brenton, Hecla. It's going to be a heckla of a snowstorm out there for you folks down there, Ross Holt, anywhere in Richland County. So I thought maybe that there'd be a chance for some good 8 inches of snow, and I think this model confirms it. What you're looking here is a snowfall forecast by the model, and this model's putting down up to 11 inches of snow. So if we look at Hutch's forecast for last night, it's spot on. This one does say 4 inches for Fargo to 5 inches. I think that might be pretty close. And as you go south of Fargo, even down towards, say, Sabin and down into Richland County here, that's going to quickly ramp up in those particular areas. We came home early from the cities. It's affected too. Yes, indeed it is. So here we go. So you take a look at the Twin Cities area here. Not as much snow there from this particular model, but they did extend the warning, and here's a look at that. And I'll have snippets of this throughout the morning so you can count on Hutch to keep you up to date. But the radar showing that heaviest band of snow right here, right here, right now, moving its way off to the east. And that heavy band of snow is going to do this and then start shifting northward as the low pressure system moves here. We're getting mainly rain down here in the cities, and that's why. But we could have some tricky travel conditions in the Twin Cities thanks to rain switching over to ice. Here's a look at the watches, warnings, and advisories for the area as we take a look at what's going on across the region. There is a lot of radar data on here. I don't want you to be confused here, so I'm going to go out to a big view. The blue counties you see here, including Grand Forks. Is it including Grand Forks? Yes. Grand Forks is in the blue, and what that means is we have a winter weather advisory for Fargo, Grand Forks. Winter storm warning, so down to the south of us. Richland County is not in the winter storm warning, but we do have Roberts County. We do have Marshall County, South Dakota. This works all the way into the Twin Cities down towards Iowa, folks. So the Iowa border down here in the I-90 corridor is all included in this winter storm warning. Why? A lot of wind and some cold temperatures. So we do have this winter storm warning extending all the way through the North Shore, all the way across the South Shore. Here's the Apostle Islands, and I have been talking about this area, and so have the models for the last couple of days, as being the bullseye for this storm, because it's going to be prolonged, and you're going to pick up some lake effect off the big Lake Superior area. So I do think that heaviest band of snow will stay right in here, and let's look at Hutch's forecast as we head into your day. Hutch's forecast for snow looks like this, and this needs to be shifted just a pinch to the south, but not much. So here we go. I think we're going to see snow reports out to the west. They'll be showing up isolated 8+ inches of snow out here. You saw a latest model run here down in this zone right here, Jamestown South. This is where that heavier band is going to be. It's going to hug the state line down here with the heavier band that will have that appreciable potential for 8+ inches of snow in isolated locations. Most areas down there will see 4 to 6 inches of snow, maybe a little bit more, and that'll be those folks that get up to the 8 to 10 that we were talking about. Once this system works its way into Minnesota, that rain will keep the snow totals down in the Twin Cities. If you're driving I-94, it looks like this is going to ramp up somewhere around Alexandria and south of Brainerd towards Little Falls. We were talking about you last night, weren't we? Hey, thank you, Emily. Good to see you, Simon. Hey, Carla, thanks for watching and stopping by. Is it safe to travel from Grand Forks to Moorhead? Emily, there's going to be some snow. The morning travel will be better, and it's going to deteriorate, particularly in the midday hour here, where we will start seeing accumulation on roads and the wind really picks up. and the snowfall amounts here will be closer to the 1 inch or so in and around Grand Forks, maybe 2 inches. But as you go down between Grand Forks and Fargo, that's going to rapidly increase to about that, maybe 4 to 5 inches of snow in the Fargo area and points south in particular. So if you happen to live in Oxbow and those areas, just south of Fargo, Comstock, I want to see some pictures. Tiffany, thanks so much for all the pictures that you do. Rose, thanks for joining. Todd, thanks for joining. Corey, so bad idea to travel from Wadena to Britain, South Dakota. So here's the deal. Right now, if we take a look at your latest radar, let me get this closed out and we'll go back to the radar and answer your question. See, interactive weather, tag a friend here, let them know Hutch is live. That would be wonderful. Gets more people involved on this and you can ask your questions. But I'm going to duck off here in a bit, but I do got to stop at hutchesweather.com for you coming up and a look at this radar as promised. So, whoops, here we go. I'm clicking on buttons before I read them. Sorry. My mistake. I clicked the wrong button, but that's okay. My friends at Robert Gibb & Sons have been with Hutch since the get-go, and they're awesome. So keep them in mind for any of your mechanical needs, by the way. What a good segue. Okay, from Bismarck and Steele and Kidder County right down into Ellendale, Aberdeen, Britain, and Sisseton. This is where that heavy band is setting up. These snowfall rates here are likely 2 to 4 inches per hour, and we're talking some heavier rain on the other side of it. Not much of a transition zone being painted by the radar right now as we take a look. So this is where things are. If you are traveling right now and you're asking about that drive from Wadena to Britain, well, I tell you what, Wadena right now looking good. Britain, South Dakota, right on the edge here of where things are getting kind of nice, icy and dicey. This is going to be heavy. So if you were to leave right now, then your travel wouldn't be too bad right now. And if you can get into this area before noon, you might be okay. But there is winter storm warnings in that area. And what that means is the wind is strongest in those areas. Let's go ahead and take a look at those wind speeds right now across the region, shall we? See where we got the gusts really blacking out the scene. Okay, so as we take a look, maybe we should say whiting out the scene. Wind gusts are 25 miles per hour in Fargo. It has not started here. 38 miles per hour just off to the, oh, that's Glen Olin, North Dakota out there. Look at this nonsense. Okay, you get into that Buffalo, South Dakota area. Yuck, 58 mile per hour gusts. We have over 60 mile per hour gusts taking place right now. What are we looking at here? This looks like our friends in Ziebach County. Let's go ahead and take a look at this report. Yep, gusts to 61 miles per hour out there. As we zoom on in, oh my goodness, look at this. This Dupree area, Faith is the location of that measurement. Phillips, South Dakota, Rapid City, 47 to 56 mile per hour gusts. That deserves a sip of coffee for old Hutch here for what's going on. Ooh. Yes. I'll take some more of that. That was good. Chamberlain 33 and pretty quiet with the winds down in eastern South Dakota. So this is where the winds are gusting. Now, the snow is pretty sludgy. We did look at some cameras out in the western part of the Dakotas and things aren't so bad there. Taking a look at temperatures. This is critical. We're at 32 now in Fargo. We're seeing that transition from drizzle to snow. 30 in Grand Forks with a little bit of flurries up there. Will there be a narrow band of 10 plus? The best chance of 10 plus, I would say 8 plus down here along the South Dakota border. Once we get up here, I-35 heading up into southern Wisconsin, I do think there's going to be 10 plus inches of snow. And you get into northern Wisconsin, I should say, on the south shore of the Big Lake, we're going to talk 1 to 2 feet of snow there, Scott. That's what I'm thinking. Thanks for asking the questions, by the way. Temperatures are still warm enough in that zone, by the way, from Wadena and on in towards the Hecla, South Dakota area. It looks like we'll see temperatures in the mid-30s. But I'm afraid even if you left now, that drive is going to take you a little while. So the earlier you leave, the better if you must travel in that area. There is a winter storm warning out for the area. Let's see if I can pop those warnings up one more time. I want to use this computer because I like the looks of it a little bit better if it's working okay this morning. I let this one run all night because I've been keeping my eyes on things, and you know how it is when you're a weather nerd. You like to keep your eyes on things, right? That's my job, and I really like it, and I'm lucky to have it, and I'm lucky to have you. Turn down this light. I think it's a little bit too hot for the morning. My face is getting sunburned. There we go. Okay, so this is still thinking and loading, and it's not necessarily working, but I will get the other radar up right now and show you the warnings. We're talking Minneapolis. I think the snow amounts will be a little lower there, but we could get some areas of freezing drizzle and sleet as this system works through with a lot of wind and 1 to 3 inches of sticky snow with all them cars. It is not going to be fun. I-90 corridor also seeing a winter storm warning. So the winter storm warning expanded last night. Hutch's gut was right. I thought it would be expanded in towards Grant County. They left Grant County out. That's fine, but you're going to get good snow. Southern Otter Tail County. I think the entire southern part of your county has a decent shot at 6+ inches of snow. That includes Fergus Falls, Battle Lake, and on in towards the Wadena area. Now you go down south towards Grant County, and I think that band will get even heavier. Here is your folks out there in Traverse County, Big Stone County, Wilkin County. We mentioned you all last night on Hutch's Weather on the live shot, and I thought that the warning might be extended out here. I thought that, I think that maybe the southern half of Richland County will stand to see a chance at that 6 to 8 inch window of snow as you go down into this zone here. There's your Britain, South Dakota. It looks like it's changing over to snow already in that particular area. And why don't I go ahead and take a look at that road report for you there? So anybody traveling in South Dakota, keep this in mind. You can get all this information on hutchesweather.com. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this map right now and look at Britain, South Dakota area as we got south of Ellendale at the border. There's Britain. There is basically some sort of, well, let's just go off to the west of that area. It's just getting started. We can still see the pavement in Lake City behind my shoulder. I believe I showed this a little bit earlier. So the flakes are flying now, and the accumulation is starting now. Lori, good morning from Sandals, Grenada, from Fargo. But happy to say we're heading back to Arizona. Well, good for you. Safe travels to you. Things are looking pretty good. Hutchesweather.com. How can you use it? Anytime, anywhere. I want your comments on this because we're right now in the middle of a project trying to, freshen it up. Make sure you have the information you need. Here's your interactive radar. You can zoom, you can click, and look at this. You can go all over the nation on Hutch's interactive radar. But not only that, you can take a look on Hutch's radar here. And by holding down both mouse buttons, this is a pro tip. Look what it does to the earth. It tilts it. You can tilt it, spin it just like the pros do right on your television screen or right here on your YouTube channel. Or on your Facebook Live, right? Okay, so here we go. Snow, heavy band right here's your low pressure center. Big time heavy snow. You can even see it wrapping around on this last couple frames here right there. That's the low pressure center near the surface, twisting that snow into that counterclockwise spiral. Mitchell, good to see you away from the lake. How much for Grand Marais area? I'll tell you what, it is on the north side. You are on the warned area. I think that the heaviest bands of snow will be south on the south shore. We'll get to that in just 1 second. A wonderful question. Grand Marais, I'm 7 miles away from the lake. Okay, so you're inland a little bit. So you get up in the terrain just a little bit, right? And just visited your beautiful area and camped out right next to you guys this summer. And it was just outstanding. Okay, so all rain right now. Now let's take a look at Hutch's Weather and we'll show you a look at what this is forecasting. Because I want you to know how to use this tool like a meteorologist. If I can pass this knowledge on to you, we all win because then you can stay informed no matter where you are. You can pull up hutchesweather.com right on your cellular device and you can get the latest weather information. Let it track your device's location and any alerts will show up right at the top. Now, as you scroll down on the page, I want to keep this important information here. If I'm live, it's going to tell you on the page at the top and right here. So you can click and join the live right now from my website and watch me right there, no matter where you go. Hour by hour forecast for Fargo, but if you allow it to follow your location, it'll be locked in yours. And I'm going to show you right now where to set it right behind my frosty mug here, that little gear. You go to the gear, you can set your location right there. So if you don't let it follow your phone, you can always change the location on the gear. Scroll down just a little bit. You're going to see all the watches, warnings, and advisory, crisp and clean. Look at Iowa, this gray. What's that? You can click on it and find out. And it says to you, dense fog advisory. So it's hard to see there, but we got difficulty seeing because of some wintry weather making its way through our area. And all the pink counties are the winter storm warning that we just spoke of. Wind is a concern in western South Dakota. High wind warning if you travel on in a semi on I-90 or anywhere through South Dakota. Beware. High-profile vehicles are going to come across a north to south wind that's gusting over 60 miles per hour. That's a speeding ticket on some city streets, right? So that's the problem there. Now let's go back up. I want to show you this. On Hutch's Weather, the road conditions page is a huge tool for you to keep your eyes on the streets. So if you click on that and go to the road conditions, it doesn't matter what state you're in our region, Hutch has you covered. We have links to all of the area DOT sites, so you can not only see travel alerts, but you can also take a look at the camera. So the pro tip here is to scroll down on the page, turn this camera on that you see right here, and have a look-see for yourself for your destination to see what it looks like in that area. So, for example, let's say you're driving Interstate 94 this morning and you're heading from Fargo to Bismarck to visit the kids who happen to attend the University of Mary. Okay, boom. Right here we go. We're going to Sterling, and behind me I see Star Wars action. Look at that. That's what you're driving through this morning as you go through parts of Kidder County and the I-90 corridor, 94 corridor. Thank you so much. Chronic 420. How much snow do you think we'll get here in Aberdeen? Is there a next storm after that? Have to travel from Aberdeen to Bismarck on Sunday. Saturday looks like some snow. Latest models are showing that system slipping south of us. Well, south enough where I don't think your weekend travel will be too bad the way it looks right now. So that's that. Thank you for your contribution of $5 towards Hutch's Weather, and I appreciate all of you for your support over the months and years. It's all very much appreciated, and it's helped me put together tools like this for you to use. So you can use these cameras to take a look at what's going on. How much snow do you think in Aberdeen? You're going to be in that 6 to 10 inch zone. Period. The heavy snow band is heading for you, and it's heading for you right now. So you can take a look, and speaking of which, why don't we show you, Chronic, just a little bit about what one of the tools is on this map for South Dakota. You click up here on South Dakota, it's going to take you, and stick around. I've got the snowfall forecast for you. I'll show you exactly where you can get it on Hutch's Weather, at least one model's rendition. Here's South Dakota. Here's Aberdeen. You can sneak down on the map, move it around, zoom in, and all these little icons are cameras. You can see the road temperatures from the instrumentation by the DOT sites across the area. Cold enough for freezing. Freezing is 32 degrees. So we got freezing roads, you got Ipswich, you got Aberdeen, and here's what it looks like just off to the west of Aberdeen. Clear pavement, although it does look like we may have, yeah, that's pretty clear pavement out there right now. Nope, there is some snow that's starting to accumulate on your road surface. Deborah, thank you for the stars. Already used North Dakota roads to see what my drive to work will be like, and so far clear. That's good to hear, Valerie. I'm glad you're using the site to find out what's going on, and it's all here for you on hutchesweather.com. And thanks for all your feedback. Thank you so much, Chronic. I appreciate you. So this is what it's looking like now in that area. Now, if you want to know how much snow for Aberdeen, let's go show you one model's forecast. You scroll down to the bottom of Hutch's road condition page, brought to you by my friends at OK Tire. By the way, click on their logo if you need some winter tires. They can help you at all our regional stores here. Now, take a look at this. This doesn't look impressive, but there's a play button here. Don't forget the play button, folks. The play button is very important. You press the play button, and it goes using the latest forecast model, a high-resolution forecast model for the area. No. This model is not always going to be spot on, but no model is. Hutch has talked about that ad nauseum over the last couple of years. So all that said, though, you can get a good idea for there is going to be, I like to call it snowfall potential. So keep that in mind. Snowfall potential is going to be highest. Here's Aberdeen. Here's the Sisseton Hills, but we got dark blue here. And if you look at dark blue, those range anywhere from 4 to about 8 inches of snow. So I do think there'll be a narrow band of up to 6 to 10 inches of snow in this area. There'll be a few spots that get 10. Could it move close to Aberdeen? You betcha. Why? Because the radar right now, if we go back to Hutch's radar page here, shows you that we essentially, I'll hit the Hutch button in the upper left-hand corner. We're taken back to the top. Right here near Aberdeen, that is the heavy band of snow pushing in. You see that dark blue that's focused right here and right here? That's going to move through. The good news is it moves through fairly quickly, but models show this snow lasting for Aberdeen well into the afternoon. There will be some significant accumulation for your area. All right, thank you so much. Watching from Lakes Country, Otter Tail County. Yes, I've talked a little bit, Sue, about Otter Tail County. Southern portions of Otter Tail County, I believe, will have heavier band of snow there, 4 to 6, easy. Fergus, Battle Lake in your area, and you go south of there, 4 to 6, also a rule for you folks in Elbow Lake, Herman, Hoffman, Grant County, and Douglas County for your neighbors off to the west there. Is the Chevelle going to need tires and chains today if it was in Hillsboro? Um, that Chevelle and me go way back. I drove it in high school, and that was in the Denver metro area. And yeah, I didn't have chains for it, but back in the day, studded snow tires were legal. So that baby was outfitted with studded snow tires on the back with a 4-speed Saginaw transmission and a 411 Posi-Track rear end, and that puppy could haul. But the hard part was stopping it. So keep in mind, it's our first bout with real wintry weather here, and it's a good old-fashioned winter storm, particularly along the South Dakota border in our South Dakota counties, southern North Dakota counties, and all of our lakes counties, all the way out towards central Minnesota on I-94, and all the way up towards the Duluth area. Get your shovels out. This is some serious shovel trouble. That is a look at your weather. You all are the most goodest. Let's see if there's any other information we can pass along for you here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second storm that's coming in Hutch's 7-day forecast. I haven't shown you any numbers yet. If you want a number, if you're missing a number, let me know. I'll try to help you out here. That's what makes it interactive. Michelle, thanks. Tammy, thank you. How about Wadena? You're in a winter storm warning, Wadena. I think that 4 to 6 inches is a guarantee. There's going to be an isolated band of 8 to 10 plus inches of snow not far from you. So between Motley, Staples, the Brainerd, Nisswa area, and Point South, I think there's this heavy band that's setting up right here is on track to sneak this way, right through your kitchen. And as it does so, because the snow in Minnesota will be prolonged in central Minnesota, it will still be rain in southern Minnesota for a good part of the day. This is going to keep things from getting too heavy in the Twin Cities, is Hutch's opinion. Is Grand Forks still sitting at about 1 to 3 inches-ish? Let's go back to Hutch's snowfall forecast graphic here that I made last night. I'm going to tell you the heavy band is going to shift just a little bit south of this, but not a lot. So it's going to be along the border here. And Fargo is still going to be in that, say, 3 to 5 inch range, particularly on the southern parts of town here. So if you are asking about Grand Forks, I think closer to 1. See, I have this blue area up here, a trace to 1. That's also moved south a little bit. Devil's Lake will pick up a little bit more because you're already getting it now, and it will snow lightly off and on throughout the midday and early afternoon hours. Thank you, Tim, for your sharing of stars. Felt like I went to weather school. Wow. Well, I hope to help you find information too, to help you make the decisions you need to make. I can't possibly answer every question, but what I can do is outfit you with the information that I have. So asking about Lakes Country, you are also asking about Wadena. And I will say in that Wadena, Brainerd area right in here, that heavier band is going to be right through your kitchen. Southern Otter Tail, Grant County is going to work its way right through you. So if you happen to be in central and southern Todd County, Parker's Prairie area, Browerville, those areas, Little Falls, I think you're going to be right in the track. So is Brainerd. So you see you were last night in the track, and here as we move this south just a pinch, you're still in the track. 4 to 8, and I think this is where we're going to see the plus. Isolated 10 inches or so in this particular zone, not going to be out of the question. Isolated 8 inches, models are saying there's still a shot for some folks to get a little bit more. I don't know if you like looking at the weather information this way, but I'm going to pull something up that's kind of fun to look at. I'll call it my winter page, the snow page. Let's go ahead and look at that right quick together. How much from Fargo to Minneapolis tomorrow, dear? Deborah, you're welcome. Between Fargo and say somewhere around and through Alexandria, you're going to run through a pretty heavy band of snow. There's going to be some spots that have 6 to 8 inches of snow, and isolated 10 can't be ruled out. So if you're traveling somewhere, I think just south and east of Fargo, let's call it Rothsay, because Rothsay always seems to get it. You get into there and into Otter Tail County, particularly near Fergus Falls and the southern parts of Otter Tail County, I think is where our line is going to set up today with the heaviest snow. So southern Otter Tail County does include Fergus Falls. It does include you folks out here near Battle Lake, and I do think that's where we're going to see this band line up with the heaviest snow. And then as you get out of that area and you go south just a little bit, you're going to quickly get out of the heavy snow. I think you're going to be in it all the way through, let's say, on Interstate 94. I'm looking at my map here. maybe Melrose. You get through the Melrose area and Albany, and as you're heading into St. Cloud, it should be lower and lower and lower amounts of snow. That's what it looks like to me. The snow ends by tonight at 10 o'clock, even in Minnesota. It's out of here, and it will focus on northern Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan moving forward. Just started snowing in McLeod. Ryan, thank you for the report. Stephanie, so is this through to Wednesday? I'm confused. Today only. It's like a sale that you see on TV. For today only, folks. This is it. Today is the only day of snow for our area and region. It's done. It started yesterday out here, but here it's getting started right now in Fargo with snowflakes mixing in. A report from Ryan Todd saying, yep, McLeod's starting to get some snowflakes too. It's beginning now. It lasts through late afternoon, early evening here in the valley. Then it's out. It will focus on Minnesota through the late evening hours tonight, particularly the eastern part. No worries about typos. It's hard to type when you're talking. And in fact, I'm going to give you all a like or two up here because I've been busy talking and not paying attention to typing back answers to you. But thanks to all of you for your questions. Deborah, thank you very much. Okay, so that's a look at what's going on. Let's take a look at this snowfall forecast. This is new information. This is based on National Weather Service modeling and the National Weather Service's 50 percentile forecast. So let's go over this. This is kind of a fun tool to use from time to time. And let me know in the comments if you like this look. This is the 50th percentile. What does that mean? That's a lot of scientific bean counter talk here about the fact that we're talking about the expected amount of snow. Okay, so let's see what this means. I'll pull out my little perusal tool here. You get along the North Dakota, South Dakota border. They're talking 6 to 9 inches of snow, and this is in Richland County. Now, this is warning level snow. It's not a guarantee. Everybody in this area in Richland County is getting 8 to 9 inches of snow. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Tammy. Thank you, Stephanie. All snow now in, is it Mina, South Dakota? 10 miles east of Aberdeen. All snow for you. Okay. The area here that you see in yellow, that's that heavy band. It's going to hit areas very close to Fargo. What's Fargo expecting? So the expected amount of snow is going to be closer to that 4 to 6 inch category. I think on the south side of town, we have a better chance at the 6 than at the north side of town. It's going to be that big of a cutoff. Up in Grand Forks, what are we expecting? If you want your town called out, call it out now on the comments. Let's go. Dusting in East Grand Forks. There we go. Holly. Okay, let's go to Holly, everybody. It's one of my favorite places to go get some lefse. Yeah? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about if you're from Holly. Holly started getting snow, a little rain prior, and yikes, look at these maps. Yeah, these maps. This is the 50th percentile. What about the low end? What if this storm really fadizzles out? That's a meteorological term from chapter 17. Look at the amounts on the north shore here, and this is just through 24 hours. Oops. The south shore, 13.2. Grand Marais in about 10 miles, a good 8 inches of snow is expected. That's your forecast from the National Weather Service. I don't disagree with that. Cinnamon, butter, sugar, lefse. You're making me hungry, Stephanie. Michelle, thanks for watching. Thank you very much. Okay, so you can see the heavy band starts here near Aberdeen, heading into Britain, heading into, look at this, Gwinner. Woo-wee! Let's zoom on in and take a look at my friends in Foreman and Gwinner, and we get out here and we're looking at 8 to 9 inches. Remember, Hutch said 8 to 10 inches of snow. That is the same thinking that the National Weather Service is using in this 50th percentile map. They put it together. They are blending models to come up with this, and this is their forecast, and they do a great job. I think I do an okay job too. And here, look at this, northern Wisconsin. You're going to get the foot plus, and this is only out 24 hours. You get snow into Wednesday out there. I can turn this up just a little bit, and let's go out 48 hours so we can get the full storm picture. Ah! Okay, just south of the Apostle Islands. What's that pink? That's not good, folks. That's 1 to 2 feet of snow out there. So let's just put this into perspective. Northern Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan, as Hutch has been talking about, are going to get chunked with a lot of junk. Okay, let's see. Tess says, coming from Minot to Fargo, just sent me pictures of snow on the ground. Looks like about an inch already. Thanks, Tess. My daughter travels from the cities to Crookston starting at 6 p.m. How's that? The city's part of that drive, not too bad. The storm will be in full swing somewhere between the cities and Crookston at 6 p.m., particularly up in this area. The best route might be this way on Interstate 94. And then, I don't know, once you get up to Fargo, if you stay on the interstate, the Minnesota DOT does an outstanding job, those road crews with their plows, of keeping that open. You got to go slow in the areas that need to go slow in. You're going to cross over this heavy band of snow somewhere in Otter Tail County, maybe the Alexandria area out towards Rothsay, I said, and then you get up north of Fargo, and it's not free sailing, it's just a lot easier driving. So there's going to be a narrow band of not fun, and there could be some areas with some icing and freezing conditions on the roads. Just take it a little slow. The first winter event is always the one where we see more cars in the ditch. Am I right? So just take it slow. Remember, you got to slow down. Give yourself extra distance. Loving the live stuff. Thank you, Taggart. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. And you have an awesome Thanksgiving as well. And greetings from Bismarck, North Dakota, checking in. Thank you very much for the kind words. Loving y'all right back, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Now let's take a look at the low. What if this system fizzles out? Even on the high side, though, if you go up north of Grand Forks, a rapid decline in snow to a trace to maybe a half of an inch, right? That's what is expected. Now we're going to look at the lower end of the totem pole here. What about the 25th percentile? Then this is on the lower side if the storm loses a bit of punch out there, okay? And now we see Fargo sitting at the 4-inch. So on the low side, 4-inch, so you go to 6 inches on that higher side for Fargo, and then you come down here toward the border, and even the low side has 5 to 7 inches of snow here along the North Dakota, South Dakota border. And southern Otter Tail County on the low side is sitting at 5 to 6 inches. You get down here to Morris and Benson area, then you're talking 5 to 7 inches. On the low side, we're still talking a foot in southern parts or the south shore of Lake Superior in northern Wisconsin. What about the high side? What if this thing picks up intensity? That can happen. What if the low pressure gets stronger, meaning more lift? What if it gets stronger, meaning more wind? Could we have problems? Let's take a look at the high side. This is the 75th percentile. Okay, and I'm just going to scan a couple of areas. Fargo, 8. Grand Forks, 3. So this storm is going to have to overproduce to get you up to your 3 inches in the Grand Forks area, but it is a possibility. Jamestown, 6. Border counties, 10 inches to a foot. So here's how I like to put these ranges. It's likely that Fargo sees 4 inches of snow. It's expected to see closer to 6. And if this storm really picks up in intensity, we could see in Fargo as much as 8 inches of snow. So that's how we read these numbers. Do you like this? Sometimes in meteorology, and in particularly when we have certain people telling us things when we work in, we got to be confident, and we do have confidence it's going to snow. The problem is identifying the exact location of the heavy band you cannot do until the radar sets up. And I've showed you what I think. It's setting up shop right here, and this is a solid forecast. This is a solid locator on the amounts of snow that we could be seeing with this system. So on the high side, some of these numbers may scare you, but I have said 10 inches plus from Brainerd Lakes area. Look at Bemidji. You're asking about that. You'll be dropping off. This is on the high side. You might see up to 7-8 inches of snow. You get into Hubbard County, you might see 8 to 10 inches of snow there, but this isn't the expected amount. The expected amount, we'll go back to that now because we don't like to spend our time too much on what ifs. This is what's expected. Brainerd 8, Duluth 10, Virginia, Ely 7. Thank you very much. Grand Forks, we're expecting an inch or so, maybe 2. Let's get out here into Lakes Country. Becker County, for you folks at White Earth Nation, 6 inches. All my weather kids out there, you're the best. Thanks for watching. Check it out. Otter Tail County, the Highway 10 corridor through the north toward Wadena, 7.5 inches expected. Okay, this is close enough to warning criteria here where we're going to get 8 inches near Pelican Rapids to Fergus Falls. You go out to Battle Lake, we're going to be near the 8 inches. You get into Douglas County here, it's going to be 7 or 8 inches expected. Could be a little more, could be a little less. At 63, I don't like it as much as I did 10 years ago. Yeah, you know what? The first snow, when you're just using the shovel, you're wearing your cute little stocking cap, and you're out there smiling and waving at the neighbors. And then you got to dig out the snowblower for an event like this, and you're like, and you're doing the neighbor's yard, and you're like, yeah, this is all right, I got this. And then 2 days later, you get another round. 4 days later, you get another round. Yeah, I start saying those 4-letter words, and they aren't snow either. I get you. Amanda, thank you. Brian's asking, just got here. When's it going to start snowing for Fargo? It's starting already. It's mixing in. I did have a video showing that at 6 o'clock a.m. I had snow in South Moorhead. Let's go right now to the cameras and see what's going on outside. Here's another camera resource that I have for you here, and this is from my friends at the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. Now, we can go ahead and take a look at their camera sites on this this page, and it's really, really cool, and they have an excellent page here, so you can search NDON on your browser to look these up. Now I'm going to go right into the eastern side of the state here, and let's go to southeast North Dakota. Here we go. Cameras that they have, and they're good ones. This is North Fargo. Look at, we got accumulation on the grassy areas. It's snowing in Fargo now. We might be getting a little bit of a break at this particular time, but this is looking west. There's their weather station out there. Really cool setup, Endon. Thank you for allowing us to use it, and thank you for putting together such a dense network of cameras out here. This is Castleton. It's accumulating. It's starting to stick to your roads out there. No, this isn't a blizzard by any stretch of the imagination. The heaviest snow in Fargo is going to start as we approach midday, and it's going to last into the drive time. That's 4 to 6 p.m. and then start decreasing in intensity. So this is a look. Wow, this might be a little old there, Martin. Maybe, maybe not. That looks like a sunrise. The date stamp is a day ago. It is old. Okay, so that one seems to be offline. Let's go to Sonora here. No snow on the ground there. That also a little bit 7:21 a.m. So we got no snow there. How about Sargent County as we look there? Oh, no. Currently, looks like we'll have to dig for the grass out there in Sargent County. This is an old shot as well. So some of them are a little bit old, but I got to tell you, a great network. If we look off into Minnesota, they're expanding this network of instruments for agricultural use. These measure soil temperatures deep down and not at the surface. And now we can look in Otter County here, and let's go see. Just wet there right now. We're looking pretty good on the 25th at 6:44 in Underwood, not to be confused with Rolog here. Look at that. Rolog, no accumulation there yet. It's still just some rain showers there. As we look into the Fertile area, let's go to Fertile. This is a shot from yesterday, and it was yesterday evening sunset. That was a beauty. Not an updated shot there, but that's okay. Now let's go back up to Crookston and see what we got. That also is an older shot. So now I can tell you that we are getting some snow in Fargo, and I am expecting that 4 to 6 category. You go south particularly, we're going to see a little bit more as we go through. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go get more coffee, maybe a piece of Lefse, and I'll keep you updated throughout the day. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of your help and support over the months and years, and I'll be back right here.
This Thanksgiving, if the family starts arguing about who ruined the stuffing, just quietly grab the remote, turn on Hutch's weather, and say, shh, I need to hear this part. I'll give you 90 seconds of peace. Maybe more if there's a storm. From all of us at Hutch's Weather, happy Thanksgiving and good luck around that table.